Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. During supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going back to God, rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, do you wash my feet?" Jesus answered him, "What I am doing you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand." Peter said to him, "You shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered him, "If I do not wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "The one who is bathed does not need to wash except for his feet, but is completely clean. And you are clean, but not every one of you." For he knew who was to betray him. That was why he said, "Not all of you are clean." When he had washed their feet and put on his outer garments and resumed his place, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you also should do just as I have done to you."
Life is an arena of unending choices. Every day we decide who we want to be and what roles we assume in the lives of others. Our decisions shape reality, not only forging our identity, but also influencing the world around us. In the 13th chapter of the Gospel according to John, where Jesus washes the feet of his disciples, a unique perspective on choices and service emerges. Jesus, fully aware of his power, opts for an act reserved in Jewish culture only for the lowest status slave. Why then did he choose to become such a humbled servant? Jesus demonstrates that true love transcends social boundaries, culture, and personal prestige. It's not about submitting to someone's will and enslavement, but a conscious choice to serve others out of love. In doing so, Jesus redefines the worldly concepts of power and status, showing that true greatness lies in humility and service. In a culture that encourages following ambitions on the path to success, we often forget this truth. In our quest for personal gain, we overlook how fundamental serving others is. Jesus, by washing his disciples' feet, reminds us that service is not enslavement, but a choice and an expression of the deepest love and respect for another person. In the 22nd chapter of the Gospel according to Luke, Jesus says, "Yet you still think in a worldly manner. You still believe that the person sitting at the table holds greater dignity and significance than the one serving him. But see, have I not appeared among you as one who serves?" This statement is not just a rhetorical question. It's a challenge to each of us to reflect on our choices and values. Jesus' stance is a reminder that true fulfillment is found when we go beyond our needs and begin to serve others. Adopting the posture of a slave by choice in this context becomes an act of liberation, showing that love and service can be the greatest gifts we can offer the world. Jesus did not stop at words. When it is said, "The Father has placed everything in his hands," it means that the redemption of humanity through Jesus Christ is not a random event or the result of compulsion or fate, but was a conscious choice and decision by Jesus. This thought emphasizes the absolute sovereignty and will of Jesus in the act of redemption, presenting his death on the cross and resurrection not only as the fulfillment of God's promises and salvation plans, but also as the ultimate testimony of the Son's love and obedience to the Father's will. Choosing a path against the current of worldly ambitions is choosing the way of humility and love. This message, which Jesus left not only on the pages of the Gospels, but also as a model to emulate in our daily lives, is a refuge for true and enduring values that neither dust nor rust can touch. Let Jesus' gesture be an inspiration for us to reflect on our life choices. Do we want to serve others out of love, or are we following empty ideals of greatness and success? Being a slave by choice is not a resignation from freedom, but a true, pressure-free, and conscious taking control of one's life. May God bless us all.